mainstream. brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but they see where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. F it, quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in it. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing, yo. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn.
It's my only medicine, yeah. Everything I do, I'm just being genuine, yeah. I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline, yeah. I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path. If you want it bad, I'm gonna show you where it's at. Yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want. Yeah, rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won. Yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine, yeah. Everything I do, I'm just being genuine, yeah. I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline, yeah. I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it.
Welcome to day number 2 of the Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. My name is IMPERIUM. I've got the sun shining in my eyes, but that's okay because I'm here to bring you all the action over today's 3 games. If you are wondering what you're watching, which you shouldn't be because you're here for a reason, we have 24 fantastic ladies teams from across the Southeast Asia and South Asia region, representing their country, representing their teams, to battle it out for this amazing, amazing event. It's over the next 2 weeks, this week and next week. It's bringing in the format of the PMPL, and it's just giving the teams a real big taste of what can come in terms of future competitions, and it's a really big thing. I'm honored to talk about it. I'm honored to hype it up, and this is a really kick-ass opportunity for me, seriously. So let's talk about the prize pool in terms of what the teams are fighting for. You have a total prize pool of $700. You got first place 275, second place 175, third place $100. But I'm also very proud and honored, and this was not my idea. This was all the amazing folks behind the scenes idea of the Imperium Team of the Week, $100 prize pool. I'm putting in $50 of it. Ruthless HYPE are matching it. But the way it's going to work of the Imperium Team of the Week prize pool is it's the team with the most amount of points secured over both the league days and the super weekend day. So normally the league days points don't really count, and they don't in terms of the main prize pool, but the Imperium Team of the Week is that team that's able to be the most consistent across the 5 days of action. If you're able to secure the most points between the league days and the super weekend, you'll grab yourself $50 for week 1 and $50 for week 2. So I'm definitely proud to kind of talk about that. This is the roadmap that we have in front of us to week 1 and to week 2. So we started yesterday, the 28th of September. We had A versus B, B versus C, A versus C. Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar. It is the same thing for today. Only, as you can see, it's Sanhok, Miramar, then Erangel. The top 16 teams of the 24 will move on to the first super weekend starting on the 1st of October, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 matches per day. And then you know what? We're starting all over again next week, where you're going to have the league play the top 16 teams moving on to the super weekend. It's really exciting. Like I said, it's bringing on that PMPL format, allowing these teams to really get a taste of what kind of high level competition can be, as well as just a mentality of being both consistent and performing in the right moment at the right time at the right place. Man, you know, there's so much more to come. The overall standings, though, is very, very exciting from yesterday's games. Every single one of these 24 teams have played 2 games each. You can see at the top of the standings, it is 20PXOG with 34 points. They got a beautiful chicken dinner in the final. Was it the final game of the day? I believe it was the final game of the day indeed. Where it was just a really well executed result for them. No, it was the second game of the day. My apologies. Second game of the day, they got a beautiful chicken dinner in Miramar, fully deserved result from them as well. Then you have Party Goddess from Mongolia in second place at 29. So to me, I can safely say the top 8 should be safe of qualifying for the top 16. But let's head to the next page of the standings, because we want to have a look at who's in the 9th to 16th. You want to have a bit of an idea of who's realistically in a bit of a dangerous position. E365, Powerpuff, and Valdus, they're only a couple of points behind the top 8. So you got to say that those are probably looking not too bad, and maybe 3M girls. But then again, where do you draw the line, right? Where do you draw the line? It's going to be up to the teams to pretty much draw their own line, to be fair. Gorkhali Warriors currently holding on to that all-elusive 16th spot on 11 points. Now the third page. it holds all of the cards in their hands. Right now, if we were to move on to the Super Weekend, those 8 teams would not make it through. But there's still 2 more games for every one of those 8 teams to make a massive difference in the overall standings for their result. I'm looking at the Voin 88 girls on 7 points currently. I believe they are possible of a lot more. Killer Krew and Rampage, maybe it's just the name of the team. Killer Krew and Rampage, it sounds like a kick-ass team. They're also from Nepal. I love the Nepal representation. They're only on 4 points. However, I do love a good glow up. I do love a good underdog story. And the 2 teams right now that could do with a massive underdog boost is Yocto and Victim Reaper, Mongolia and Indonesia, respectfully. They're both on 0 points from yesterday's games. 0 points. They couldn't be any further from the top 16. They couldn't be any more at the bottom of the barrel. At the end of the day, you can turn it around. Like I said, it's cliche, it's stereotypical, but it's not over till the fat lady sings. And I know for a fact I haven't started singing. I'm going to start casting because we are getting ready to get into game number 2. The players are joining the lobby and it's going to be pretty kick-ass. Let's have a look at the kind of slot list as well, just to give a bit of an overview of kind of what groups these teams are in, because you might be wondering, well, who's playing when and who's playing where and stuff like that. It is important to kind of have a bit of a note of who's in what group, how that might have an impact in terms of the overall standings. You got Group A, Group B, Group C. The order of games is Game 1, Group A and B, Game 2, Group B and C, and Game 3 is Group A and C. So the thing you have to look at is the fact that the teams in Group B are out of their control in terms of the destination, the result, etc. They need to be careful about that. Looking a bit more specifically at the team rosters, 88 ladies, 3M girls, Unfaedah, Blackswan, and Infinity ladies, Street Rally, Yocto, Victor Gaming, 2OP Esports. On a side note, as far as I know, 2OP are Nepal based and the team are Indian. So it's that lovely, beautiful connection between India and Nepal, which I absolutely... Oh God. Sorry about that. Just managed to nearly choke on myself. Good job, Imperium. Anyway, it's a beautiful connection between Nepal and India. Capital 9X, Voin 88 girls, Valdus. See you soon, Elemental. They won a game yesterday. See you soon, Elemental. Let's see if they can repeat it. Party Goddess looked very solid in a couple of games yesterday. The Soul Reapers, Veteran of Death, and Gorkhali Warriors. Absolutely love that team name, by the way. Gorkhali Warriors. It's such a nice name. Victim Reaper, Royal, ETY, bloodrain, E365, Powerpuff, Myron, Orion. Love the fact that there's a ladies team of the Eagle 365 organization, along with Valdus and a couple of others. Art of Teamwork, Ruthless HYPE, Killer Krew on Rampage, and Strong Vault Girls, the other Indian invites representing the ladies. And Ruthless HYPE, they're the namesake. They had a pretty good performance in Miramar, but I'd like to see a bit more from them, to be fair, across the board. We're loading into the game, so it's not going to be too long before we get into it. Once again, I'm really excited. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in over yesterday's games, over today's games, and I hope you are going to be excited as I am. I got some good rest last night. Right now, it's around 10:30 in the morning for me. I love a bit of early morning casting, but yeah, it's very, very exciting to see. 30 seconds, like I said, we have Sanhok, Miramar, and Erangel. Swapping the maps around so that every single team plays the same amount of maps. You know, pretty much, right? They play 2 of each map. So Group A and Group B, I believe this is Group B's first time on Sanhok. So it's definitely going to be something to think about. That means Capital 9 Axe, as far as I know, Voin 88 Girls, Valdus. I'll just call them Valdus because it's really hard to pronounce their name. See you soon, Elemental Party got, I believe, it's those teams' first time in Sanhok, if I'm not mistaken. But let's get the show on the road. The plane path is dead center, going from south to north. It is pretty good in terms of it's pretty good in terms of actually, sorry, no, it's not. It's actually Group A's first time in Sanhok. I mean, is it Group A's first time? No, it's Group B's first time in Sanhok. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh well. Either way, good playing path, just start things off. It's not really too important in Sanhok with regards to the playing path, simply because of the fact that it's such a small map. You can get wherever you want to. It does, however, create a little bit more of a settled split amongst all of the teams. We do still have 2 teams dropping on boot camp. I believe that's Valdus. See you soon. If I'm not mistaken, it's Valdus going up against each other. We've got SYS, see you soon in the center building of the compound, dropping together. While it's a bit of a split drop for the Valdus team, yeah, the 2-2 spread isn't bad. Both teams have advantages and disadvantages of their current position. I would say see you soon have a bit of a stronger advantage. However, Valdus can at least use a side of the compound to move around, maybe distract, catch out the members of See You Soon, and get a little bit more information on board. Nice juicy level 3 helmet, you can't argue with that one. So if you peek your head, there's a much less chance you're gonna get caught out. The phase 1 circle has popped up, to be fair, and it's quite heavily north with about 25% water, 30% water in play. So the teams on the south are really gonna have to be a little bit more careful on their entry point into this phase 1. There's going to be an automatic cluster of teams. 3M and 88 both dropping in around the Tatmok cow area. So see if that fight might kind of look to break out in some way, shape, or form. Both these ladies teams have players split up. 88 do have kind of a bit of a solid spread, and having one on top of that hill is really impressive because it allows them to get a bit more information from the high ground. Yes, only behind a tree, so the peeking risk is there. Plus, if you get knocked, there's a really high chance you're not going to be revived. So that's going to be something to think about. Going up against Infinity. Hasn't gone right for the time. It's going to be a knock at the hands of Infinity. And it seems like SR are now just down to a solo player because they only started as a 3-person team, lost 2, and Infinity have been able to take control of this area quite nicely. Sorry, it's not Infinity. My apologies. It's not Infinity. It's Unfaedah, Blackswan. My feed is a little bit pixelated, so I can't really see the tags as clearly, so I was going by a little bit of a guessing game in that regard. But fair play to Unfaedah, Blackswan from Indonesia, getting 2 kills at the start of this game. And with that phase 1 being so heavily up north, this area on the mainland is really good to hold on to. And I really like the idea of the full squad being there. Maybe have one to the compound a little bit more up north or a little bit to the east. But as far as that kind of 4-person hold, it's really valuable for their mid to late game at least. and how they're going to be able to control the teams around them. The Valdus SYS fight is still yet to really break out, although Valdus have pushed forward a bit more aggressively to the center building. SYS not really taking advantage of the center building. They've pushed back a bit. Nice level of mollies being thrown in the direction of SYS. Valdus not afraid to say to SYS, hey, we are here to play. One or two of the SYS players heading towards the roof. It's not a bad call, although there's a lot of risk with that roof play because it leaves you far more heavily exposed, and they might not be too confident that there's nobody in a further backline position from Valdus that can take advantage of that. But the breach has been made by Benjamin and Sky. Jenny SC as well, looking around, sticking together. That 2-2 is so valuable. Smokes have been thrown out, or at least one smoke by SYS to try and slow down. Trit taken down just like that. Vanilla, B-Rose, and Suze, and Ulz, should I say, now being put under a lot of pressure. Babe Rose left on her own. The door comes in and absolutely nothing they can do. SYS have been clouded, crowded, compounded, and taken down by Valdus. A really good engagement from Valdus. The breach, the 2-2 split, really well executed. Sometimes teams will make it to that point in a compound and they'll slow down a lot more. They kept progressing. They kept putting the pressure on the SYS. Action is far from over. Sanhok's only really just begun, and we're already down to 15 teams, 51 players, 3M under a bit of pressure. The revive being played out by Lulu onto Chan. That's pretty good. Keep them up as a full squad. They've been able to pick up a couple of kills onto the 88 ladies. Actually 3 kills. Keeping one left alive. Ayana getting the hell out of there. Ducking out. I believe she was the one that was on top of the hill, so it was that kind of, you know, 3M maybe realizing they could use that body advantage and just pull off that 4v3 inside the city of Cow. So well played by 3M. Party heading up towards the compound that Unfaedah hold on to. A really good place to move to. However, Party need to be aware that they could be walking into hell. Right now, it's 3 ladies moved up, 1 in the backline, but that backline position is in no way valuable, so it's important they stick together as a full squad. An initial knock by Kylie into one of the Unfaedah players. That's a confirmed kill straight out. Seems like Unfaedah opened the door, let them take control, and now they're going to breach on forward. And never mind the fact that you do have Veterans of Death in the southwest, in the northwest island behind, ready to third party that, and instantly Keanu is left on her own. Unfaedah were way too passive with that. And it kind of surprised me, considering they were so controlling on the initial engagement against this side of, forget who it was, yeah, SR. I thought that was going to be a much better defense from Unfaedah, but they just laid down and they allowed Party to take control of that compound. Well executed, though, by Party Goddess. 49 teams, 15 players left alive. Phase 2 did once again shift up north, fainted a little bit northwest, so it's kind of tricky because the mainland availability is shrunk quite heavily based on the amount of water in play, and because even though a good bit of that northwest island is in play, committing to that area is a big risk. It's a commitment. You go to it and you're like, okay, we're staying here until the end game, essentially, or until we absolutely have to. And it seems like that's going to be the case from 2OP and Veterans of Death. Now, between those two teams, Veteran of Death and 2OP, Veteran of Death is in a much stronger position. The reason why is because they're on a more eastern coastline of that Northwest Island, so they're able to get a lot more information on the mainland. So should that next phase shift over to the mainland, they're way better prepared, whereas 2OP are currently covering the western side of Hating. Are they thinking that a team is going to come in from behind? Maybe, but you don't need the full team there to do that. Just keep one player on the western side to do a bit of scouting while the rest of the team stick to the eastern side of Hating to get information on that mainland. It's very silly play from 2OP. It's not really awareness personified. Valdus, though, they're going to have Capital 9 active team that was very aggressive in the first 2 games yesterday. And it seems like it's not stopping, but they do suffer 1 casualty for the time being as the Blues on the phase 2 is encapsulating the first half of boot camp. The pre-molly being thrown out. It hits 1 mark. Cecil's going to get knocked down. And again, look at that push by Valdus by 3 ladies up the stairs. Absolutely no mercy, no forgiveness. They fully deserve every one of these 5 points so far. As 3M have 2 players knocked down, they committed to a tricky open area around the black hole of the mainland island. And they're going up against Voin. That phase 3 shift, though, wasn't any better for a lot of these teams. Yes, it does take away a lot of that Northwest Island, so kind of kicks Veterans of Death and 2OP in the face a little bit more. And you have more water than land, in my eyes. That's a good kind of 52-53% water, and the rest of the land is Voin. Didi gets a lovely spray knock onto the members of 3M. Because it's in the open, they can't really push it. Do they need to? Probably not. They probably don't need to. The best thing they can do is just suppress 3M, hold them back, make sure they don't get knocked, and let's be fair, whittle the utility down, whittle the first aids down on their opponents around them. They do need to be careful, though, of the southern side of that black hole and cover that area. Right now, they don't really have too many people looking behind them, so Infinity are coming behind on the eastern side of that black hole, and that could definitely put them in a spot. There you go. You know, I know I have an overview perspective, but that's what I'm talking about. Now, Infinity are backing up a little bit because they see the value of that combat with 3M. They get a knock onto one of the Voin players. Infinity Berlin did a great job of just kind of tapping that M4, getting those accurate shots on target. Not quite securing the knock. We'll have to wait and see how that continues. Victor Gaming representing Mongolia under a spot of bother. However, those revives will be secured. They're yet to enter into the circle in GW. Gorkhali warriors from Nepal holding them back inside the Tatmok area, using the logs to their advantage. Gorkhali warriors once again. That's why I said it's a risky open area to hold on to by that coastline. We're about to get into the next circle shift, and it goes over to the west. Oh my god, yes, there's a hell of a lot of water now out of play, but oh my god, that's insane. Valdus get taken out by Infinity. Valdus opted to kind of stay on the edge of the circles in the first couple of phases, and now they meet their maker as Victor Gaming trying to find an angle in. It's going to be easier said than done because now they're pinching between Gorkhali warriors and Infinity. Veterans of Death opted to commit to the Northwest Island and stay there, and they have a player knocked. YCT onto TSR as well. The kill feed is a little bit tricky to deal with outside of the circle. Time is ticking down. couple of seconds into the blue zone, starts closing in. It's another knock by TSR. Really well played by TSR in that fight, sticking together. Givenchy now left on her own, stuck in the blue with only a couple of first aids to her name. 4 in total. Might be looking to go for a bit of a heal strat. May be able to get the revive. Goes for the heal. Gonna pick up a first aid and try and pick up her teammate. However, I can't see that working out as phase 4 will move into phase 5. Victor Gaming do find a bit of an opening onto Gorkhali. Warriors outside of the Tapmock area. Gorkhali Warriors were forced to move out of there and into the open because of that circle shift. 3M are under pressure. They suffer another casualty at the hands of Voin. Voin are doing a great job of controlling the northern side of the black hole as 2OP are just kind of staying quiet and careless on the coastline of the mainland. Desperate times call for desperate measures in this kind of circle, but Voin, they are controlling their own destiny. They are controlling their own result. Already 3 kills on board, still up as a full squad as they continue the wrath of bullets spraying in the direction of 3M. Still need to be careful behind them. However, their position is much safer because of the fact that the kind of center black hole is really not anywhere you want to go. Heading into phase 5, Voin has a player knocked. TSR, that might be a bit of freedom for them, but it's not going to be easy for them to find a breach. 3M close by. Nay, hopefully we'll get revived by one of her teammates while DD stays peeking out behind. Continue to be in the kill feed instead of a TSR. That opening might be there. Another knock. Oh no, Darcy though gets knocked down, and I'm left wondering, why are the members of TSR so heavily separated when you're down to just 2 players? Your teammate had done such a good job, and if you were together, that counter knock would have been played out. Maybe the revive. You're late into the game. There's less point in that being played out. Phase 5 did center up on towards the coastline of the mainland. Veterans of Death are forced to swim across the water of the Northwest Island into the mainland. But here's the thing, nobody's there. Nobody's expecting the team to be in the Northwest Island at this late stage of the game, so it makes sense why they have a little bit of freedom to move in. 3M left as a duo, proning behind the sniper tower wall. Voin have their number despite having players knocked. They've been able to keep themselves up as a full squad. Infinity forced to play inside the black hole on the edge of the circle, but they have a little bit of an entry point using the dips to their advantage, so I do give them credit for that. I'm surfing there a little bit of lag on the stream myself, so there you go. We're back to normal. 2OP still left alive, holding things on, but they do have to move in as the next circle shifts towards Veterans of Death. They're being gifted a bit of breathing space as all the teams are now going to have to focus in front of where they are, and that could of course put a little bit of pressure on the Veterans of Death. Voin, for the first time in forever, so there's not going to be music, there's going to have to be movement as they will look to have to push it into the circle from that western side. Party Goddess, party hard, rock hard, play hard, game hard as they look to have a bit of a tough job getting past the side of 2OP, but they are gatekeeping them on the edge of the circle. Sakura left on her own. The last player of SR goes down eventually as Veterans of Death doing what they can to survive and strive. Infinity doing a great job. This team are impressing me as they enter into these circles, doing a great job of having that balance between aggression and calculated plays. 2OP do finally go down at the hands of Party Goddess. Nice play by Vema. Voin healing off the side of the try and stay and find a move into the circle. They're going to have to breach onto Infinity, but Infinity have their number despite getting a knock. The members of Infinity clap back harder, and Voin goes down to the blue zone. 3 teams left up. Veterans of Death, Infinity, and Party Goddess. Veterans of Death They held on to the Northwest Island until the dying moments they committed to it. That but now, yeah, Party Goddess entering in on the edge. You got Infinity shooting them up from the other side of the circle as well, but Party Goddess need to be aware of that. They might be better off avoiding this fight. They do have Kylie covering one side, but Infinity, I feel like this is their game. They are the composers of this orchestra. But it seems like the orchestra and the composer could be losing the orchestration stick. I don't know what that's called because I don't really know much about classical music, but I do know about classic PUBG Mobile finishes, and this is one of them. 3 teams left alive. Party die into the blue. We're left with 2 players up, and out of all of this, Veterans of Death keep themselves up as a duo, but they're not in the circle. Infinity have a rock to pull off the first aid. They also have to move in. 17 seconds. Oh my god, a nade gets thrown out. It doesn't get the knock onto Mimix, but it does now get the knock onto Mimix. Nice play. Baby doll left on her own. Mimix was, I believe, the top kill leader from yesterday's game. So with her being knocked, not going to be able to do much about this. But that allows Infinity to push up with the duo. One person left alive. The knock comes through. But Infinity, they finish it off. They get the chicken dinner. They win out on Sanhok. Absolutely fantastic chicken dinner from Infinity. Deserved. Well played. Well moved. There was a little bit of risk and fear in the early parts of the game. Well, not really early, more mid parts of the game when they were coming through the black hole, but they played that terrain wonderfully. 4, 3, 7, 10, 11 kills for Infinity in that game 1. But I gotta give a massive amount of love to Veterans of Death, because that's what I said when that kind of phase 3 kind of shifted up and it still had that Northwest Island in place. Said if you're gonna go there, you have to commit until you absolutely have to move, and that's what they did. Now there was a little bit of luck involved where nobody covered the western side of that mainland, which is definitely surprising. Definitely surprising, but at the end of the day, they didn't know that. They just took advantage of the fact that nobody was there. So when they did move on to the mainland, they freed them to spread out, grab information, hear all the shots around them, and play on that, securing second place. It was a really well-placed result from Veterans of Death. Party Goddess also deserve a big shout-out in 3rd place, getting 9 kills for themselves. Big pog. And then Voin. Man, Voin 88 ladies. 4th place, 8 kills. They definitely suffered when that shift went away from them, and because they didn't push back Infinity, or they didn't really focus as much on what was behind them and presume that it was safe. I get why they did. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they made a mistake by doing that, but I get why they did. It's simply one of those things where because they didn't, when they had to move away, they had very little maneuverability, and Infinity had their number. It's a way the cookie crumbled, but that's why I absolutely loved their early and mid-game proactivity to pick up the amount of kills they got, because it substitutes the lack of the top 3, the lack of those extra placement points, getting those 8 kills with that 4th place. That is a total of, I believe, 16 points. You can't argue with that from Von 88 ladies. Really, not at all. 2 OP, a lot more desperate around the way they rotated. They didn't place where I thought they should have placed. And then they did decide to kind of go for that rotation instead of committing to that Northwest Island like Veterans of Death did. They end up going out in 5th, but with 0. That's the thing. It's just with 0 kills. Looking at the team stats of the winners of this game, Infinity ladies, 11 kills, a total of 26 from the individual game. And that 26-point game is more than what they had after 2 games yesterday. So that glow up is big. It will put them on a total of 50. And if they weren't already qualified for the Super Weekend, then they are now. Couldn't ask for a better start for them. And it as always, kind of is a sigh of relief for them, to be fair, in the fact that they can come into their second game today and not really worry about what they do. They can afford to technically go out early. Not that they want to, but they can afford to. I'll tell you that much. The kill leaderboard from this first game of the day. Not surprised that you have 3 of the Infinity ladies team in this top 5. Marilyn, Gamgee, and Palmy. 3-3-4. Let's freaking go. And then 2 of the Voin, Razor and Didi. Absolutely spot on. Like I love it. It makes so much sense. They were the 2 most proactive from a kill standpoint, from a control standpoint. They were the 2 really most controlling teams. Along with, again, Veterans of Death, when they had to move across, they did, and they were able to do something with that. So, that's the only reason why Veterans of Death don't have anyone in the top 5, is because they committed to that Northwest Island. They couldn't quite pick up as many early kills. Moving on to the match standings of this game. Number 1, Infinity Ladies with 26 points, as you saw from the team overview. Party Goddess with 19, Veterans of Death with 17, Voin 88 with 16. And then it does take a massive drop with 3M Girls in 5th with 8 points, 2OP with 6, Valdus in 7th with also 6 points. And a special credit to Valdus, because those fights in boot camp, I respect the fact that they kind of stuck to that area and they took those 2 fights and they won those 2 fights. But that left them with the consequence of moving into the circle late. Maybe they could have done better scouting. Maybe they could have rotated a little bit safer, but they met their match in the hands of Infinity, the game winners from game 1. And it's like Infinity absorbed the Valdus power and moved that forward to win the game. The bottom 8 from that game: Soul Reaper, Street Ready, Yocto, Gorkhali Warriors, Unfaedah, Blackswan. Just to kind of highlight the fact that when you look at the overall standings, that really, really hurts. That really, really hurts. That really hurts a couple of these teams who are trying to make it into the top 16, especially Yocto. Yes, it's more points than they had, but they needed a massive game. They needed a 15, 17 point game, to be fair. And that's something that probably should have been played out a little bit better. However, not everybody's going to succeed in the first week. Not everybody's going to do well in the first couple of days. Like I said yesterday, and I'll repeat today, this is one of the first times, if not the first time, a lot of these ladies teams are meeting up against each other on an international stage from different regions, and that is always difficult to adapt to. You have different play styles, different mentalities, and just the fact that you might not be as familiar with play styles and drop spots across the board. How you adapt, how you improve yourself. If anything, less about how you improve in the overall standings. One will follow the other, though. Looking at the overall standings, Infinity Ladies, like you saw, 50 points in total. They hold on to the top spot, and notably, the top 5 do have that extra game in hand. See you soon, the PAL, Veteran of Death, 2OP, Party Goddess, and Infinity Ladies. Then you have Art of Teamwork in the middle of all of that with an extra game to play. So that puts them in a really good note, because they have an extra game over the likes of See You Soon and Veteran, and especially See You Soon. They're only 2 points behind, and they're on the same points as Street Ready and 3M Girls. So that will, make it a little bit easier for Art of Teamwork. 9th to 16th, Void 88, the Soul Reapers, Valdus. Valdus do need to, maybe get a few more placement points on board. However, their balance between kills and placements is definitely not a bad thing. It's Gorkhali Warriors in 16th. They have an extra game over a couple of other teams in the bottom 8. And man, they need to pick up their placing points. Only 2 placing points in 3 games is realistically not good enough. I commend the amount of kills they got, but their placing points really need to be improved. So make it to that middle late game and be a little bit safer, a little bit more controlling. Capital 9 Axe not far behind them, but they do have the same amount of games as Gorkhali Warriors. It's Royal, ETY, bloodrain, Myron, Orion, Killer Krew, and Rampage, and Strong VAL girls who are probably looking at this and going, okay, we're not in a bad spot. The teams ahead of us have more to go in terms of they still have another game and we still have a result ourselves. It's healthy for those teams and they can play into their final 2 games maybe with a little bit more confidence. 1 game down, we've got 2 more games to go in day 2 of league play week 1. Final chances for a few of these teams to secure their top 16 spot. Let's take it to a break and I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.
Fold it up, we gon' burn it down. Fold it up, we gon' burn it down. Fold it up, we gon' burn it down.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. We've had one game down. It was won wonderfully by Infinity in the wonderful world of Sanhok. But we have two games left for you guys. The next group of teams that are going to be facing up against each other. Group B and Group C. That's Capital 9 Axe, Voin 88, Valdus, See You Soon, Elemental Party Goddess, the Soul Reapers, Veteran of Death, and Gorkhali Warriors. They're going to be going for the second time around. This is their last chance to secure points and secure that top 16 spot for themselves. It's also the first time we're going to see Group C teams. A Victim Reaper, Royal Eternity bloodrain, E365 Powerpuff, Myron, Orion are the teamwork, Ruthless HYPE girls, Killer Krew and Rampage, and strong Vault girls. So this is the first chance for them to really, you know, gain some much needed points against the teams both behind them and ahead of them, right? So creating that cushion against the teams below them and catching up to the teams ahead of them. We're going to be on Miramar for this game too. There you go. I got it right. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. I do this professionally. You wouldn't think so, but I do it professionally. We're going on to Miramar for game number 2 of 3. So what I'm kind of really looking out for is I'm really looking out for the teams to be pretty controlling in this game in terms of how they look to really pull it off is going to be up to them. Miramar can be quite difficult in how it's spread out, how it kind of plays out against each other. But for me, it's the kind of thing where every team pretty much has a chance, circle and phase dependent. Valdus, they were very aggressive in game 1. Very aggressive in game 1. So I would like them to maybe slow that down a little bit and use it to their strength, but it's the kind of thing of with great power comes great responsibility. I always prefer when a team is more aggressive than more passive. Said it before and I'll say it again. You learn more for being more aggressive and taking fights and losing those fights. But what makes a team especially good is their ability to calculate that aggression, to calculate the fact that they do need to be wary and time their engagement extremely heavily. The game's loading in. We have only 61 players in the lobby. I feel sad, man. But that's maybe going to allow for a bit of a more passive early game between all of these teams. Don't forget to cheer what and who you think is going to win this game too. Cheer your favorite team. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. It is really amazing to see, and I hope you are all enjoying my commentating, and I'm behind all these ladies so much. It's so great to see the ladies scene grow across the world from a competitive standpoint. You have a full female team competing in the upcoming PMPL EU, and other female teams competing in other PMPLs in the past. It's big. Doesn't matter who you are. If you have the ability, you can compete on a global stage. Simple as that. As we get into this game number 2, the playing path is going from the northeast down to the southwest. It is a tiny bit south, but for the most part, this kind of playing path is pretty kick-ass for these teams. Yes, if you want to go to kind of Krews and Tori, you're going to be having to grab a couple of vehicles first and really kind of stretch out a bit. But everywhere else is so easily possible for these teams. Capital 9 Axe going to be dropping in ruins. You have Voin 88 in La Cabrera for the time being. Killer Krew, let's go. Don't know what it is, but there's just something about the name Killer Krew on Rampage that I just absolutely love. There in El Pozo, you have Party Goddess, who did really well in game 1 in Monte Nuevo. Myron will be dropping down. Myron, Orion from Indonesia, dropping down a little bit to the south of them, the Ladrillera Hills, etc. So that's pretty kick-ass. Once again, GW, Ruthless HYPE, and Asphalt, they're all going to be in the kind of Los Leones train, although it does seem like Gorkhali Warriors are going a little bit more on the south side for the time being. But that phase 1, whoo, that phase 1 is definitely not the best for these teams. When you're playing in these kind of games on a phase 1 and phase 2, the playing path really plays a big part in understanding where teams are going to be, because even though it was a very good playing path, it was still a little bit to the south. So that does tell you that there's a much bigger chance that there's going to be a cluster of teams on the southern edge, southwest, possibly southeast edge of the circle. Veterans of Death, once again, only starting as a trio in this game. They start to take a fight against RE. And they lose it for the time being. That 1v1 going against them. Ling is trying to back away because she doesn't want to get countered. Knocked, but stabbed in the back she goes. RE got a player taken out. So revenge is definitely served onto the ladies of Royal Eternity. Bloodrain. Not gonna lie, I forget the tags in association to the team name, but I do my best to remember. See you soon on E365. They are having definitely a bit of a firefight. Quite nicely inside the compound of San Martin. It's going somewhat towards the members of E365, but with 3 of them knocked down, 1 is going to be an absolute confirmed kill. SYS also in a bit of a similar spot. They only started once again as a 3-person team, so they're automatically down a player. I don't know if E365 is aware of that, to be fair. Something the players can do in the lobby before the game starts is to check which teams are starting as a 3-person team. Now, you might not always be aware of who is who in the game, but when you get a confirmed kill, they're already on one. Means you're going to technically associate that with the team that started with 3 players, i.e. there's only 2 left. See you soon. One of them doesn't have a helmet. That's going to hurt them massively. One quick headshot and they'll drop like an absolute feather. Hopefully E365 will be aware of that. But look at them pushing as a trio inside this building. Playing up the stairs is very, very difficult. It's a tight, narrow stairwell and you can't really get that much information. That's why initially they look to throw a couple of nades out in the direction. What they could do is they could keep one player on the outside of the building in case one of them jumps out the window. However, that means it's a 2v2, so the trades might not be as successful. So I get why E365 are a little bit cautious playing on this team fight. Valdus and Chumacera, they're going to have a bit of a tough task moving into the circle because you've got side of Victim Reaper and Picado, you've got Art of Death. Art of Teamwork, my apologies. Sorry, not Art of Death. I was thinking of another game, another team, Veteran of Death. You got Art of Teamwork close by as well, in between Picado and Chumacera. So again, just that's why I'm talking about in terms of the rotation from the likes of Valdus and other teams who are on that kind of northwestern edge of the circle or outside the circle, such as Myron, Party Goddess, Art of Death. It really has to be something you are aware of. And yes, okay, if you want to rotate directly into the circle, I would recommend pulling that off very early into the phase. But now that we're about halfway through phase 1, it might be a little bit too late for the likes of Valdus to go or direct into the circle. I did notice one of their players seemed to be AFK in terms of a bit of a disconnect or whatever, but hopefully they're able to connect back in. Still, the fight is going on between E365 and See You Soon. I am worried about E365 and the fact that they're not really pushing this fight. They're missing out on vital position advantage by taking so long to engage. To me, you either engage or you disengage. I like the fact that they have won on the off angle. There you go. Gempy finds a knock. That should be the opening is there. They may have taken too long, but they do execute that team fight beautifully. It's more the timing. There was a good minute or so where they probably should have been a bit quicker on that. However, now they can focus on finishing their looting phase and moving a bit better into the circle. They could stay where they are. It's on the very edge of San Martin. It's not a bad place to be, but I would prefer to see maybe the higher ground in the north. It could be better played off, better executed. Teams are starting to move into the circle quite effectively off the back of phase 2 nearly showing up. We do see Capital 9 Axe and Killer Krew on Rampage. Like, Killer Krew and Rampage, it sounds like the name of like a hip-hop band, right? Or like a rap band. It's like, yeah, we're Killer Krew and Rampage. I'm such a boomer, it's great. Maybe they'll come out with a music album. They'll be the new KDA, you know, Killer Krew and Rampage. The new KDA, that'd be pretty cool. Party Goddess and Valdus, they trade knocks from a bit of a distance. So that should be kind of okay for both teams. Phase 2's popped up and it did go once again a little bit up on the northeast. And this is where teams that are on the southeastern edge of the circle, like Royal Eternity, Asphalt, Gorkhali, Orion, they need to recognize that the hills to the south of Torre Almada, they should be far more accessible. The Krew, the VAL, a bit of flatland, but there's a decent bit of hillside where you can control. Head there, go there, control there. That northeast is completely unoccupied. Nice play from a distance from Ruthless HYPE as they push back Victim. Don't know if they're gonna grab any more kills from that. I don't think so. But taking out one, pushing back Victim, you cannot argue with that from Ruthless HYPE. Well done. It's a great hill, to be fair, that Victim Reaper are in, to be fair. So that water treatment hill, that is pretty much the hill that I recommended for a team to go to, but because they're down a player and they're being put under pressure, there's definitely far more availability for another team to enter in that area. Killer Krew and Rampage did not really engage with Capital 9 Axe, but Capital 9 Axe are looking to push back Art of Teamwork. And I'm not going to lie, that rotation from Art of Teamwork is extremely deep and extremely separated, as they are really moving as multiple players. Already down one, Mikasa is out. One of their vehicles is smoking up on board, and now they're separated in a bit of a 2-1 split, which isn't really optimal. So when you rotate in Miramar, you really got to kind of, for the most part, rotate together, especially if we're looking to pull off such a deep rotation, whereas they didn't do that, and now they're being split apart. It's not out of the woods just yet, and technically the information can be given over to the third player, Rhea, of Art of Teamwork. But Capital 9 Axe, they're going to reassess their current position as we head into phase number 3, and it centers up quite nicely on the circle, goes a little bit down southwest. So likes of Victim, they did move away from Ruthless HYPE, and they are a little bit more solidified on top of the water treatment hill, which is a great place for them to be. Ruthless HYPE going to be sticking in a compound down the bottom of the hill outside of Hacienda. Party Goddess moving in towards a crate drop, and they do get a knock onto one of the Capital 9 Axe ladies. Capital 9 Axe, you gotta really be prepared a bit more effectively for a fight early on at least. You're an aggressive team, but you gotta be aggressive at the right time. Another knock is played out onto another one of the Capital 9 Axe players, so it leaves them down as a duo, and I don't know if that duo is really going to look to push that fight. That's good play from Party Goddess. A knock is played out. The opening is there. Going to look to confirm the kill. No, steps back. Steps back. It will allow Mickey to get the knock onto Soth. That is very good for them. That is very good for them. So credit where it's due to Capital 9 Axe. They suffered 2, lost 1, but that counter knock allows them to stay up as a 3-person team. Whether or not they're able to disengage is another thing entirely. The Soul Reapers from Nepal are close by on the eastern side of this hill. They would have heard those shots, but they are looking to get involved and push it, blow up the vehicle, take that disengagement away from an opposing team and slow them down automatically. It's pretty well played from the Soul Reapers. But a knock is played out. I love an M24. Absolutely love an M24 with a suppressor. Art of Teamwork, credit where it's due. They joined together as a 3-person team. The Capital 9X focus on another team did create that gap in between Capital 9 and Voin for that third player to come in, but it's an eastern shift to water treatment hill, baby. Let's go. I absolutely love the hill. There's lots of levels involved. I compared a little bit to shooting range. It's quite a tricky hill to hold on to, because for the most part there's nearly always a higher level above you unless you're at the very tippity top of the mountain. But even then, when you're at the very tippity top of the mountain, you got the other side of the hill to contend with, so it's very difficult to control the water treatment hill. Right now, to me, Gorkhali Warriors are probably in the best position. They could do with spreading a bit more, but they are overall, for the most part, in the best position. Okay, the Krew and Rampage going to look to enter from the northern side. Victim, I don't know what they're doing, being so heavily separated. Asha, way far away from her teammates. Going to look to heal up in time now. Zana and Aiden. Maybe we're going to try to get in a better position to support their teammates. Smoke being thrown up by Asher to give her a little bit more space on the buggy. Victim will move closer to Killer Krew and Rampage. Spicy will probably have heard that, to be fair. A pre-nade in that direction could be quite valuable. The rest of Killer Krew and Rampage are down the roadside above. And Mary, I don't know why you're kind of still rotating there and you're leaving Spicy on her own. That should be possibly a little bit more of a help being provided. However, Spicy backs away. Neri, I don't know why you're still moving on the vehicle. Come on, time's ticking down. Killer Krew and Rampage does secure a knock on the Shad. That solo player unknown is, guess what? Instantly traded. However, Moon steps up to the plate, stands up, and this is why I'm wondering what the hell Aniri was doing, just driving like no direction, no purpose behind her movement. Luckily, that knock has given them more time to push up the hill. You can see Aniri is nowhere near the rest of her team, and I'm wondering what she's playing out. That is honestly some questionable movement from her, but as she does wrap up the hill, maybe coming in from the other side, in my eyes, it's just too slow. It's not the right time, not the right place to pull that off. You've allowed yourself just for one player. However, let's see if you can turn this into a squad wipe with the 2 remaining players of Victim. You do have to think about a team possibly coming in from the northern edge of the circle. That is, of course, Capital 9 Axe. They're left with 3 players in a bit of a 2-1 spread. Chaz confirmed up. Mickey, Cecil. tough. They'll hear those shots and they might be looking to third party, but as they get to the bottom of the hill, they can't really move up that far. Soth, don't know what you're doing there on your own. It's just weird plays for Capital. Sorry, but the inexperience is showing some of these teams in what is a very pressurized moment in the game as we get into the next circle shift, it going down southeast in the favor of Gorkhali Warriors. Now their 4-person spread is perfect for this shift. Whether or not they were able to grab enough information is something we'll find out, and how they're going to be able to deal with so many teams technically looking in their direction. The benefit they have is that all the teams looking in their direction are realistically on the one side of the circle. So there's a much bigger chance they're going to take each other out. Gorkhali Warriors will be able to pick up a kill here or there, possibly secure this chicken dinner. I know there's still a long way to go, another 13 minutes or so before we get into the very end stages of the game. Asphalt able to gatekeep a couple of teams around them. Ruthless HYPE were in this kind of position for quite a while now, pushing on top of the hill, trying to take a fight against E365. Powerpuff fighting crime, trying to save the world just in time. The Powerpuff girls are going to get engaged upon by Ruthless HYPE. Voin as well, getting in the middle. It's a beautiful sandwich of Voin and Ruthless HYPE as E365 Powerpuff can't deal with the pressure. They're down to 2, but that's a nice nade by Zoda to confirm DD and slow Voin down. Ruthless HYPE, I'd like to see a little bit more aggression from you guys. One of the reasons why you failed to really control and win yesterday's Miramar game is you just weren't as aggressive as you could have been. You weren't as quick as you could have been. It's like you're very happy being in a decent position, but you're a bit scared of really controlling that circle. You've given too much space to the members of E365, and it might come to bite you in the butt. We'll have to wait and see. His party got us breach on towards the more western side of this circle, northwestern side to be specific. M24 suppressing shot onto one of the members of Voin. Voin are gonna have to rethink their position now as the backstabbers become the backstabbed. Voin players trying to separate, and Winter with the scar, her teammate taking the shots with the M24. You can hear that. The Soul Reapers into the kill feed, getting pushed upon by Valdus. The next phase has once again gone into favor of Gorkhali Warriors. They hold on to the compound. They hold on to the stranglehold of this phase 5 circle. 1 minute and 15 until the blue zone starts closing in. Valdus slowly losing players left, right, and center. Asphalt still up as a full squad, but they're not in the circle. They are close, but no cigar, my friend. No cigar at all. Cigar onto the member of Valdus has been knocked down. Face the bitter end is Ruthless HYPE. Like I said, you give too much space to the team around you. You pay the price. You've lost 2, and they're down to 2. Ipama and Bips. There's no time like the present. You allowed another circle to show up. You're now outside the circle, and not only do you have a recovering E365 powerful in your direction, you have the likes of RE and Asphalt in front of you, which you have to get past. Soul Reapers just reaping the souls of the opponents around them. The names of Valdus. Down they go, more victims in play as Voin 88 tries to survive. Asphalt coming out around him, but I don't think Asphalt is aware of that, and Nay is just in the dip to the side. Surely you see the smoke and you think there might be somebody there, because that smoke isn't really fully forward when he moved into that area, but we'll have to wait and see if he's pulled out or not. Myron on the northeastern edge of the circle. Capital 9 Axe have done a great job of at least staying in this game as a duo, but some questionable decisions leading up to that point. That's an 8 out of 10 rating for that flippity day. My oh my, what a wonderful day as Asphalt start to shoot across on the teams around them. Gatekeeping left, right, and center. Nice play by Royley Turney to find a position in the edge of the circle, but the Soul Reapers are going to be in front of them. I believe there's just one player left up for the Soul Reapers, proning down in front of me. See the next shift goes up north, puts a little bit more pressure onto the Gorkhali Warriors compound, but it will mean that they're going to be able to control what's behind them and then focus on what's in front of them. They still have 2 players outside the circle, 2 players in the circle on the southern edge. That's a good spread to have on board. Party Goddess, Party Rock is in the house tonight. In the names of Party Goddess, it's not a house, but it is the open lands of Miramar. As they say, striving and surviving in this game. There's still that last player of E365. Powerpuff gets a knock on the Winter. They say Winter is coming. Well, Winter is knocked down onto her knees, and Victoria is the last player up. From behind. Oh my lord. A free knock, a free kill, but now you're taken out by the rest of Asphalt, who's looking for the revive to keep them up as a 3-person team. But now Gorkhali Warriors will try to slow down Royal Eternity. Bloodrain, a lovely nade. It hits the vehicle. It doesn't hit the player that's thrown down a little bit beside it. Krista, knocked down, is taken out by Myron. Finished off by VTM. Victim still alive in this game. The play zone takes down a player of Asphalt, so they're left with just 2 in the circle, or actually outside the circle. My apologies. Myron still holding on strong. You have Gorkhali Warriors. They're only on 2 kills, so maybe they haven't been as proactive, as aggressive as they could have been. But time will tell if they're able to close out the game as the circle shifts down south in their favor. But they do have a little bit more traffic around them. The fact that out of the 12 players alive, they have a full squad up is incredibly valuable. But they do have to technically move a little bit down that hill, and unless they focus on one direction, in my eyes, they're going to be taking on too much at once. A bit of space opens up as Myron finishes off Royal Eternity Bloodrain. 4 teams left up. Victim, Gorkhali Warriors. And another knock leads them down to just 1. Victim, Asphalt, Myron, Gorkhali Warriors. Those are your 4 remaining teams in game number 2 of day 2 of the Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. Myron suffers another knock. Muffy is knocked down. Victim also joining in on the mix. The last player up, trying to do something to pick up a couple of kills, but that isn't going to succeed. Down she goes. We're left with 3. Myron, another player down. Left with a solo Friday. This isn't Friday, it's Wednesday, my dudes. Let's go. Makes it into a dip now for Gorkhali Warriors. Spread out away from the compound. They move from the safety. They're controlling in the direction of the last player, Myron. Like I said, focusing on one direction at once is probably going to be the most valuable way Gorkhali Warriors take this fight. Yes, they are technically giving a little bit of time, a little bit of space to Asphalt, but if they clear out the 3rd party, they can focus on the last remaining team, and boom, goes to dynamite. Gorkhali Warriors pick up another one, and we are left with Asphalt and Gorkhali Warriors. Knocking towards the low ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a beautiful war between these 2 teams, but a play comes in and knock comes out. It is a 2v1. It's a 0v2, and that is going to be the chicken dinner for Gorkhali Warriors. I love the team name. I love how the team played. They held onto the compound. They shifted in their direction. They moved out at the right time. They focused on one direction, and they fully deserve that chicken dinner. Let's freaking go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Gorkhali Warriors. Like, I know that there was circle look involved, but that's why I highlight and why I highlighted that hillside above water treatment. That's why. It's a great place to hold on to. Circle depending. As it happens, the circle shifted in that area and boom. You had it right in our sightlines. Well played to S-Fault, getting 4 kills. Maybe could have gone for more kills instead of placements, but that second place is still rewarding with 12 points on the placement side at least. You had Myron in third with 3 kills. You had Victim in fourth with 6 kills. Considering Victim were kind of, pushed around here, there, and everywhere, for them to finish in fourth place with 6 kills is pretty commendable in my eyes. Royal Eternity as well with 3 kills. E365 and 6 with 8 kills. They really benefited by the fact that Ruthless HYPE did not push up on that hill. Yes, they also benefited a minute or so later when Voin got backstabbed by, I forget who it is exactly. I think it was Party Goddess, if I'm not mistaken. So that did kind of allow them to move around a bit more, but at the end of the day, still a fantastic amount of kills. The team stats for the winning team of game 2. Gorkhali Warriors. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name right, by the way. If anyone wants to, DM me on Instagram or Discord and let me know if I'm pronounced that wrong, feel free to. But either way, 7 kills, 22 points. That puts them on 35 in total. It was so important for them to get this chicken dinner as well, to be fair. So important. So 35 points with, I think they have one more game to go. I'm not sure. We'll have a look at the overall standings in due time. If they do have one more game to go, that's perfect. If not, then that's still a good amount of points, and that hopefully should put them in the in the top 16. Yeah, it should put them in the top 16, to be fair, as far as I know. We'll have to wait and see. Well, we are loading and waiting for the information in terms of the stats from the previous game, the kills, the standings, and as soon as we have them, we'll show them up, so to speak. But honestly, that game too was really good. The circle shifts were a little bit tricky, but they were also quite consistent, right? They were generally quite consistent. There was a lot of those eastern shifts. There's a little bit of a centralization on one of them, but to me, just really, it wasn't really as yeah. By the way, that says match 1, but it is match 2. Those are the stats from match 2, despite it saying match 1, just to let you know in case you are confused. Gempy from E365 getting 4 kills. Winter from Party. The Soul Reapers. Mia deserves it. Maha, should I say, deserves a lot of credit because I noticed the Soul Reapers in the kill feed. And that's why I was even surprised that they were down to that one player because, I'd seen them in the kill feed in a positive way. To be fair, Bichiko from Gorkhali Warriors in the S-Fault. So a nice spread of teams. All top 5 are from different teams. So that Miramar game was quite nicely evened out across the board. Oh, my Lord. Just waiting for the points from this game to be ready and available for us. You're back to seeing my dodgy looking face. Yeah, Capital 9 Axe, 7th place, 2 kills. It's really funny because in the way Capital 9 Axe play, I see a lot of potential, but they're yet to really find that middle ground. They're either super aggressive or kind of super passive. You've yet to really have that balance of, hey, we're aggressive, but we know when to back off and we know when to take a fight. It's just that thing where they need to kind of spend a little bit more time focusing on some key aspects of their gameplay. Maybe it's IGLing mistakes. That could be the case. If it's not IGLing mistakes, then it's something where they need to reevaluate and do a little bit more VOD review. It could just be experience, right? And that's one of the major benefits and one of the fantastic things about this kind of tournament is it's giving so many of these ladies fantastic international experience. It's giving these ladies a lot of opportunity to learn not only from each other but about themselves, right? To gain more in-team experience, the mentality of playing in the stress of trying to qualify for a Super Bowl isn't really that common for some of these teams. Gorkhali Warriors, 7 kills, 15 placement points, 22 in total with strong vault. Girls, or S-Vault as I like to call them, 16 points. Victim Reaper with 14, Myron with 13. It's pretty even across the board. It dips when you get to the 8th place team. Capital INX only getting 4 points before the top 7, top 6. It's not a bad way to start to have that game too. The Soul Reapers with only 4 points. Voin 88 with 4 kills and 4 points. Killer Krew and Rampage not having the best of games. They do have the best names, but not the best of games. And like I said, Ruthless HYPE, just not aggressive enough, not controlling enough. You know? Need to take the bull by the horn sometimes. Valdus with only 2 points. That's not good for Valdus. They had a poor result in game 1. They followed up with only 2 points in game 2. They might not make it to the first Super Weekend. We'll have to have a look in terms of the overall standings, of course, in due time. But that really worries me about Valdus, because remember what I said. The teams that are in Group B, like Valdus, See You Soon, Elemental, Party Goddess, the Soul Reapers. Okay, some of those teams are safe, but teams like Valdus, their end result is completely out of their hands because they do not play in game 3 of the day. Feels bad, man, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Move on to the overall standings. My production friend Hackett2 doing a wonderful job in the back lines while I just speak in the front lines. This Hackett2, man, he's an absolute legend. He's an absolute legend. Trust me. Party Goddess, they hold on to the top spot. They're the legends right now in the lobby, but they do have an extra game in hand over Infinity. So Infinity ladies, they're only 4 points behind and they have an extra game to do it. Like I said, top 8, give or take, are probably pretty safe, I would imagine. So moving on to the next page. Valdus are on 24. Here's the thing. Every single team from 11th to 16th have an extra game in hand over Valdus. You would think that's a bad thing, but believe it or not, it's really a little bit of a good thing. Because all of those teams that are playing behind Valdus, they can low-key trip over each other. They do have a 7-point advantage over 16th. That's very healthy. But let's have a look at the third page, because this is where it really is going to make a bit of a difference. 16th, 16th, and 16th. So, you know, 16, 16, 16, 15, 14, 14. You know, and kind of Killer Krew Rampage in 7. So Killer Krew Rampage, Victor Gaming, and Yocto, they have a bit of a chance. For Capital INX, I'm sorry, but their journey is over because they have their 4 games played and they're in 17th. You just couldn't capture the right amount of placement points. Feels bad, man, indeed, but please come back next week. That standpoint. So there's one more game to go. We're heading on to the hollow grounds of Erangel. Group A and Group C are going to be on your screens. This is Group A's second game of the day. Group C's second game of the day. Who will be the teams to secure their top 16 spot? I'm excited to find out. I hope you are with me too. Let's go for a break, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Fold it up, we gon' burn it down. Fold it up, we gon' burn it down.
Welcome back. Time flies when you're having fun. We're already heading into game number 3 of the day. The final game of the day, the final countdown, the final chance, the final frontier, the final fantasy, and every other word you want to appropriate with the word final to represent this last game of the day. So many of these teams have stepped up to the plate, and it's absolutely amazing to see, and I look forward to seeing them throughout this weekend and next week. But for now, we are going to be shrinking after this game, 24 teams to 16. The bottom 8 teams after this final game will not make it. And for this last game, you have Group A and Group C fighting it out. A good few of these teams are, of course, already qualified. But in terms of 88 Ladies, 3M Girls, Unfaedah, Blackswan, Infinity Ladies, Street Ready, Yocto, Victor Gaming, 2 OP Esports from Group A, Victim Reaper, Royal Eternity, bloodrain, E365, Powerpuff, Myron, Orion, Art of Teamwork, Ruthless HYPE Girls, Killer Krew on Rampage, Strong VAL Girls. It's our last chance to gain the points needed to move into the next stage, the first super weekend of this Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. We're getting into the game. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to, of course, you know, be able to help tell the stories and be able to show what's up. We're going to be able to obviously keep an eye on who goes out first and what that means to the overall standings. So many of these teams are close to each other. Remember, before the break, we saw, I think it was something like 11th to 16th all have this extra game to play. And then you have a lot of teams below them. As far as you know, out of the 16 teams, I think 10 or 11 of them are really in or around the kind of second half of the standings. So this is going to be big. The playing path is good for these teams, though. Starting at Novo, ending up around Zarki. It's diagonal, it's center. You couldn't ask for a better playing path. Let's hope the phase 1 complements it. There's a prayer that speaks about the circle gods, which I forget, to be fair. I remember saying it during the PMCO spring split for North America to gift these teams the circles and hope that they are not punished too heavily. The tensions are building. One mistake can be the reason why you make it and don't make it. Got a number of teams dropping in Novo. What the hell? We got 3 teams dropping in Novo. Infinity, Art of Teamwork, and the side of 3M. Now, Infinity recognized the amount of parachutes that were dropping by Novo, so they've opted to kind of go to the buildings outside of Novo that's on that main road before the bridge. So I do appreciate the awareness from Infinity. We also have 2 teams going to military base. That is Victim. Sorry, not Victim, it's VG. Victor Gaming. Okay, 3 teams. 2 OP. 2 OP, Victim, and, you know, Victor Gaming. This is absolutely crazy. Yeah. Yeah, okay. What a way to start off this game. The drop spots are very, very interesting, to say the least. Oh, man. Art of Teamwork. Looking up the hill to where Infinity are holding things out. Now, right now, although Infinity aren't directly involved in the fight, they are stopping Art of Teamwork from really safely pushing towards 3M in that sense. 3M on their side have opted to kind of go on the back lines of Nova to stay somewhat out of sight, out of mind. They've already lost a player, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The phase 1 circle, on a side note, did complement the playing path. But when so many teams dropped in a number of areas and we're seeing this hot drop, the center part of the mainland around Pachinki is absolutely dead. There's nobody there. This is such a weird game. And maybe that's a product of the fact that these teams aren't super familiar with playing against each other, despite it being game 2, the playing path. Although it was nice, maybe it's something that the teams weren't really aware of. I don't know exactly, but at the end of the day, it's making for a hell of an entertaining game 3 of the day. You also have 3 teams around the George Paul area as well. E365, Powerpuff, and North George. 4 teams, actually. Unfaedah in the crates of South George. You have SR in the buildings just outside of South George, and then you have Killer Krew in the South George buildings. Absolutely insane. Victim already have a player down on their side. Victor Gaming, though, they're trying to do what they can to hold things out on their side. Just to remind you, the top 16 make it through after this game. Right now, Yocto, Victor Gaming, Killer Krew, and Rampage, Victim Reaper, 88 Ladies, Ruthless HYPE, and Unfaedah, Blackswan, they are from 24th all the way to 18th in this game. Then from 16th to 11th are also in this game. 3M Girls, Street Ready, Art of Teamwork, Myron, Orion, Roy ETY, bloodrain, the Strong Vault Girls. So for 2OP, who kind of moved away and they did suffer, I believe, one player going down, they're safe in the overall standings. Before Victor Gaming and Victim, 70, a very important game for them. 3M as well, one of the teams that are battling for the top 16 spot. Need a very good result, and indeed they've been able to disengage away from Nova as they make it to the coastal line of the military island. Infinity move across into the mainland, so that's really good play from Infinity. Great proactive movement and rotations on this phase number 1. Ruthless HYPE, they have a 3-1 split right now. 3 of them are in Gaka. 1 of them holds on to the compound down the hill of Pachinki. So that kind of anchor point is pretty good for so early in this phase 1. The blue zone is, of course, starting to move in. S Vault, one of the teams fighting for the top 16 spot. It's the focus. With all due respect, I'm not really worried for any of the teams that are playing in this game who are in the top 8, because their position is absolutely secured. They'll have their story another day in the Super Weekend, but for now, the story is about likes of Strong Vault to hold on to that 16th spot by an absolute breath. They're in this game, along with many, many others who are fighting for that top 16. 3M have now swum across the water of Military Island into the mainland. That's very good to see. 2OP, one of the players who was separated from the rest of the team, is going to have to deal with Victor Gaming. Hope he's able to survive. She's able to survive. Yankee OG. Fire shots away, but that's some nice play by Victor Gaming. Having Lucy on the roof of the building across the road meant that as soon as that player from 2OP went up onto the roof of the building above, being chased by 3 of the Victor Gaming ladies, the kill was able to come out. That's really good for them. Nice play, Lucy. Great IGLing as well. Does leave 2OP down to 2, but they're okay. Victor Gaming, though, those are very valuable points for their fight in the overall standings. Currently 23rd. Mongolian representatives need to pull out a massive game. 6 points they only have in their 3 games. That's an average of 2 points per game. To hit the top 16, they're going to need an average of about 13 points per game. So they have to move massively in terms of average across their 4 games if they're going to make it in, which means their end result needs to be realistically a chicken dinner. If I'm being perfectly honest, chicken dinner and 10 kills is the only way Victor Gaming are making it into safely into the top 16 in my eyes. Safely. Infinity have moved in quite nicely. That's good to see. Unfaedah, Blackswan as well. Looking pretty healthy. YCT close by to them. Ruthless HYPE. Currently in 19th place with 15 points. Much closer to the top 16 when it comes to points needed. But at the moment, at the end of the day, they're still out of it. So you do have to get better result than a lot of teams around them in this lobby. We're still on 16 with 58 players live because the majority of the teams inside this lobby are fighting for that top 16. I am expecting this to be a bit of a passive game. Again, benefit of the closer teams that we had dropping some notable areas, of course, which meant the center of the map was free for such a long period of time. Lovely shots by Zoda of E365 Powerpuff, benefited by the spread of the rest of the team. Aiko distracting by the warehouse. They should look to push, so maybe they recognize it's a little bit too late and just trying to suppress the team inside that warehouse. 88 ladies who are in 20th. That could be good enough heading into phase 3. We have to wait and see if they can get another knock or turn this around in a massive way. My lord. E365, to be fair, are safe in the overall standings. Ruthless HYPE, it's a great position on the Pachinki Hill that they hold on to. It's that kind of southeast Pachinki Hill. The spread is quite close together, which isn't a bad thing. They do have a number of teams around them, so that's why I get that the spread is a lot tighter compared to a different kind of situation. It does allow the side of Street Ready to move closer to them on the hillside, along with Unfaedah, Blackswan as well. 88 ladies holding on to the roof, given that elevated position. Jay from Street Ready knocked down, will get revived. A three-way dance in the center of the circle. You also have to consider a couple of other teams like Asphalt, Killer Krew, between the north and the south. Phase 3 is going to become a little bit of a haven as the two remaining players of 2OP join into the mix. Nice knock by Hype once again on to... Okay, Siri, stop speaking to me. I don't want to speak to you right now, Siri. You're no use to me in this case. Unless you want to commentate with me, which I doubt you're going to be able to do. I know you're intelligent, but you're not that intelligent. Certainly not as intelligent as Ruthless HYPE. Ladies are pushing onto this side of Street Ready. That's a great knock, a great push across the way. Sometimes an engagement doesn't need to be super, you know, three-dimensional. It doesn't need to be, you know, having that flank position. Sometimes it's just 2 to 3 players from a team going forward, recognizing that they have the opening to pick up a kill, to suppress a team even further, send them back away from the hillside. And look at the amount of space Ruthless HYPE has compared to a couple of minutes ago. Look at that spread compared to a couple of minutes ago. I know it's only phase 2, but that's the setup, right? That's the foundation of a strong game. There's no point in having a house built on top of a poor foundation, because that foundation, that house, will crumble off the back of a poor foundation. So to set up a strong late game, you must have the foundations of an early to mid game on board. Phase 3 centers up quite nicely. You have Potato Hill in play. Nobody's currently on Potato Hill, but there's a lot of disparity between the east and the west. So the teams that are on the east, like Infinity, Asphalt, Victim, who are driving right into those two teams, have absolutely no idea on that kind of western side of the circle, which is the same the other way around. E365 committing to Pachinki on this kind of circle is a little bit risky, depending on where they exactly put themselves in. The field is open. Victim have gone right past all of those teams and are going into the fields of Pachinki. So that's a bit of a desperate rotation However, if it's working out, it's working out. I won't really argue with that one, as the two remaining players of OP trying to move around, taking the gutter fields of Pachinki in their control. Well, E65, E365, should I say, Powerpuff, push on. I'm curious, out of the team, who's Bubbles, who's Blossom, and who's Buttercup? Which one has the Chemical X? Do they all have the Chemical X? I imagine they do. Sugar, spice, and everything nice is historically the ingredients of the Powerpuff Girls. Right now, it's M4 bullets and sprays aplenty. That's making up the E365 Powerpuff ladies as they get a knock onto Purple. Behind the wall, Purple is crawling. E365 should be looking to push that. Another nade is going to put Vicky down to about half health. Like I said, in the gutter fields, a certain level of defense is there unless E365 really look to push this, and I don't think they are pushing as massively as they should. Yes, they might not have the information that it's only 2 players or technically only 1, but to me, you get a knock and you're still up as a full squad. That's an automatic advantage. The kill is confirmed. Vicky is left on her own. Phase 3 blue zone. 15.5 minutes in, it's starting to close up. You do see the side of Royal hold on to Potato Hill, which is really good to see. Royal ETY, Eternity, bloodrain. 88 ladies have the north edge of the circle in their hands, but again, not really getting that much information. Ruthless HYPE have joined up a little bit closer with this upcoming phase 4, which I do appreciate and respect. Unfaedah, Blackswan in the compound down the south of them. You have Victor Gaming on the hills above the coastline mainland, and that circle shifts over in the northeast to the Potato Hill. Fantastic for Infinity. Fantastic for Royal Eternity bloodrain. Even pretty good for Ruthless HYPE again. Joining back up as a core 4 close to the circle. Shifting means they can move a little bit quicker into the circle. Start to get a bit of information. However, they must not prioritize the teams in front of them as much as the teams behind them. With it being an open area, it's really valuable that they don't go too deep. What do? They go too deep. What's the point in sending a scout that far forward when the rest of the team isn't really following suit to get some kind of trade? All she had to do was hold on to an anchor point in the circle, whereas now the rest of the team are there. They're too slow to respond. One of them gets knocked, and then you have a team rotating past them and getting a position in the edge of the circle. It's really silly IGLing mistakes from Ruthless HYPE, to be perfectly honest. On the opposite end of a poor foundation, there's no point in having a fantastic foundation on the house if it's built poorly on top and you're only left with the foundation. Because right now, that's all Ruthless HYPE are left with. The foundation of the phase 3, phase 2 positioning. But now, as Royal Eternity are going to get pushed a little bit more heavily onto Potato Hill, it's a really difficult spot to control as one team. Looking at it from a bit of a hindsight perspective, it's a little bit too much of a central position for Royal Eternity because it's allowed a team to enter either side. And there you go, that's a product of it. E365 moved out of Pachinki onto the Potato Hill, the natural calling of a rotation. As you see teams that land in Pachinki do that kind of rotation. 88 on the other side, looking to take advantage of that. Might be one of the Royal Eternity players that got taken out, but nice sprays. Gets a knock on the ace. Royal Eternity, they're not one and done just yet. Not out. of the running. Until they're done, they're not done as the blue zone of phase 5 is closing in. Oh boy, uh-oh, spaghetti. Oh, E365 Gempi onto one of the Unfaedah Blackswan players. I do appreciate the ability of Unfaedah Blackswan to try and go for a bit of a massively wide rotation from the southwest to the northwest, but maybe just a little bit too late as the next phase pops up and it does go over to the northwestern side. Hallelujah, E365 are absolutely swinging at this circle shift. All the teams on the southern end of the circle are going to have to find a way up the hill into the circle, and it's not going to be easy, I'll tell you that much. The sniper tower held on to by one team, and the spread they have on board is absolutely perfect. And 3M, should I say, have another player go down. I believe it's just solo left, but he could be coming up on his own. YCT have the surrounding of the players around him to cover that area. SR Street Rally, possible third party potential. YCT gonna have to be aware of that. Looking into the mix, Street Rally not taking any shots for the time being. Royal Eternity, bloodrain, their center circle with their center potato hill position yet to be taken away from them. Still have an element of control and play. Ruthless HYPE, I don't know why they are just so separated on that rotation. Yes, Majestic survives, but takes a bit of damage as Voin comes by to them as victim engages onto E365. Evidently taking out his return on board, beautifully executed as they go. Utilizes the beautiful crate gun to her advantage and will continue to lay down the power, the brunt, the damage with that gun. One Myron, the last player up, only started as a 3-person team. Chucks a smoke here, chucks a smoke there. Are the team getting booted out one by one by teams around them. 365 degrees. The next circle has gone a little bit central, and it's very difficult by this roadside. I tell you what, this is one of the first times I've seen a Erangel circle end specifically around this area, at least for a hell of a long time. You've got the upper hill, you've got the bottom part of the hill. If our team can survive our teamwork, they could grab this game. It's going to be easier said than done. The teams at the top of the hill, like E365, like Ruthless HYPE, like 88 Ladies, they're going to have a tough task pushing down the hill. Asphalt are in front of them. Asphalt has a player knocked down at the hands of Infinity. That's good for 88 Ladies, but the breach has yet to be made inside the circle. Street Rally, the solo player up, snaking down the hill, hoping not to be spotted. Still pretty far away from the circle. 88 Ladies, they were there, but not connecting. YCT now moving down the hill. They held on to a pretty good circle. They were able to now confirm a kill onto one of the Street Rally players, now pushing in onto the team of our, the teamwork down and towards the bottom of the hill by the road, by the edge of the hill. Can they push in? Can they get the engagement off in their favor? I hope so, but Infinity breathing down their necks beside them. It's going to be easier said than done. Are the teamwork. Misaka trying to hold it down strong, using the smokes to her. Play is his fault. Far away from the circle, but the next shift centers right on top of 88 Ladies, who at least took down Asphalt, or at least multiple players from Asphalt. Leave them up as just a solo player. Takes down one of the HYPE, Ruthless HYPE players from behind. Goes down to the play zone. Majestic looking for the revive. Time's ticking, 35 seconds until the blue zone starts to close in. Once again, the circle shifting into the hands of 88 Ladies on top of the hill. However, right now they aren't able to fully engage onto the likes of Arda Teamwork, but Arda Teamwork aren't exactly in a position to really do anything about it. It's Infinity going up against 88 Ladies, either side of the circle, either side of the hill. 4 teams left. Ruthless HYPE down to a solo. Nice plays. Infinity takes down the last player of our teamwork that will allow them to control the bottom of the hill. Perfectly timed. The Ruthless HYPE with Infinity suffer one knock. Genji is knocked down as well. That's the third. That's the third. There down, rocking down the hill, but it is the players from 88 Ladies to get the final blow onto Infinity and get the chicken dinner in Erangel. They started this game in 20th place, 14 points. They get themselves 15. They get themselves a bunch of kills, 10 kills. That's going to be 25 points. That is them securing their spot in the top 16. But who will follow them? Who will join them? Infinity, credit to them on a side note. In the opposite end of the standings, they started this game in second place. They were only, I believe, 4 points behind first place, so that should be the top spot of the league place secured by them, which Imperium Team of the Week puts them in the running of getting that $50. Just saying. A little bit of extra money goes a long way. But it also won't technically matter in terms of the Super Weekend points, where the chunk of the prize pool does come into play. So they are going to have to repeat it. Ruthless HYPE, it's a third place with 4 kills, but I guarantee you fixing those mistakes in phase 4, phase 5 would have made a world of difference to their finishing result. Having themselves up as a full squad, being able to pull out a little bit more control, definitely would have benefited them. Team stats of the winning team, though, needs to be highlighted in a big way. We are going to have a bit of a sneak peek, to be fair, when we do show the result of those team stats. But yeah, big game for 88 Ladies. Like, they'll breathe a massive sigh of relief, and also be a great confidence builder coming into the first Super Weekend. However, it's very, very different of a game that we did see in Erangel. Multiple teams dropping in Nova, multiple teams dropping in military base, multiple teams dropping in around the George Paul area. Very unusual, considering it was such a diagonal playing path. Winner, chicken dinner, 88 Ladies, 10 kills, 25 match points. And like I said, the spoiler is that it will put them in 5th place in the overall standings. So they have got their spot bingo, booked their ticket, sign me up, Scotty, contract signed there into the first Super Weekend. So congratulations to you, 88 Ladies. But I'm forced to think, as we move through the stats of this game and we make it into the overall standings, who's going to be the team to join them. I don't know. So I'm running along with you. I'm super excited to find out in this game. The kill leaderboard of this game, Mikasa in Art of Teamwork getting 5 kills for herself. Joy B of 88 Ladies along with her teammate Sanhok, 4 and 3 respectively. Victor Gaming, Lucy, 4 kills. Let's go. And of course, last player in the top 5, YCT, picking up a couple of kills. The match standings from this game. Ruthless HYPE, they have probably secured their spot in the overall standings as well. Yocto, 11 points. They were coming into this game with only 2. It's not going to be enough, but great effort, Yocto. Victor Gaming, similar situation. Just not enough points secured. And as we go down, we might see just not enough of these teams grabbing the points required. Unfaedah, Blackswan, they were only, I believe, yeah, they were only 1 point behind Ruthless. However, Relly, Eternity, bloodrain got a couple of points. They only got 2, which put them on 18 points. It's probably not enough for Unfaedah. Blackswan at least specifically. Man, I'm hoping the overall standings are updated. Because if you're ready, I'm ready. I wish I had a little bit of a drum roll thing in the back of my ear just to be like come on, I can't do this all day. Come on, there you go. The top 8 of the league play week 1. 64 points for Infinity ladies. Congratulations to you, Party Goddess in 54. 2 chicken dinners for Infinity ladies. And in second place, that consistency is massive from them. 43 placing points, 21 kill points. However, Party Goddess, could you ask for a better balance of points? 27 placement, 27 kill points, balanced like all things should be. I said, who's going to be the top 16? Here you go. 9th place, Ruthless HYPE. 10th place, Voin, 88 Girls. 11th, See You Soon Elemental. 12th, The Soul Reapers. 13th, Street Rally. 14th, Myron, Orion. 15th, 3M Girls. And 16th, just about Valdus make it in. Scraping by into the first super weekend, and I have a lot of sympathy for the strong Vault girls, Indian representatives, one of 2 Indian representatives, not quite making it. 1 point separated those 2 teams. It's often the case. It is so often the case where 1 point separates the 2 teams. It's the way it's just the way it works. So much. It's the way it works so much. Oh man, but the top overall players from today's games: Mimic from Veterans of Death, 9 kills in today's 2 games. That's an average of 4.5 per game. And actually, no, is that total? 0.3 kills per match. Is that included? Interesting. Either way, 60% of her team's kills of the team's kills have gone to her. Then you have Joy B, Gampy, Mikasa, Winter of Party. Pretty good. Very, very good indeed. It is important to highlight, though, now that we've gotten the top 16 secured, coming into the first super weekend, the head-to-head between the top 2 teams, Infinity Ladies and Party Goddess. 10 points separate them in total. But Party Goddess do have more kill points. And that is something to think about. However, Infinity Ladies also have the 2 chicken dinners. And that's something where they need to be able to close out games. So as much as I commend the higher amount of kills, grabbing those all elusive chicken dinner points is also so beneficial. The daily report of this day 2 of week number 1, Infinity Ladies got a total of 40 points. That's 20 per game in today's games. Powerpuff getting the highest amount of kills with 16. Infinity Ladies with the 1 win. 27 placement points for Infinity Ladies, and E365 with 8 kills per game. It was all 365 and Infinity Ladies by the stats point of view, but it doesn't really matter. Sometimes stats doesn't represent the insane action that we had across today's games. Well done to all 24 teams for playing in the first 2 days of this fantastic Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. Commiserations to the bottom 8 that didn't make it into the first super weekend. You will have another chance next week to do it once again and still look at this weekend's games, make some notes, do some VOD review, learn, grow, and improve. I want to see you back bigger and better next week. For all the top 16 teams, you have a day's break to prepare for the very first super weekend. You're going to have three days of playing against each other every single game of every single day. So allow you to become more familiarized, more comfortable with your own play style, and learn from game to game. Once again, thank you so much to everybody for tuning into today's games. It was an absolute pleasure to cast. I'm going to be back again Friday for the first day of the Super Weekend. Stay safe, stay awesome, look after yourselves in this wonderful world. Be happy, and we'll see you all on Friday. Same time, same place.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a stride. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah.